And welcome once again, one and all you lovelies out there in Interland. It's me, Wee Andy, and I am back with the man who rocks. It is Scott Dispel. Good evening, sir.
Glad to be there across the great Atlantic.
That's it. Talking about across the Great Atlantic, let's get right down to nuts and bolts here. It's been almost a year since we properly had a chat. You guys working on the album. The new album is now done. When we last talked, it was, oh yeah, this COVID thing's kind of bad. Now we're talking, and this COVID thing's still kind of bad. So Scott,
Yeah.
how on earth have you guys managed to pull together an album in the middle of a global pandemic?
Well, it's funny you mentioned that because we literally just finished the vocals like an hour ago. So we've been working this whole time. So when we connected about during an interview and we were talking about times, I'm like, all right, we should be done by then. So we literally spent the last 9 hours in the recording studio. We cut all the vocals with our wonderful singer Ravensea. And so now I'm going to get to work and I'm going to mix it down properly, get it ready, get it produced. I'm going to send it over to Martin Bowes in the UK, the famous Martin Bowes from the band Attrition, and he's going to master it for us, and then we're going to release it, and the album cover is going to look like this.
Oh yeah. I was a little bit
Dungeons and Dragons gaming influence.
I was a little bit cheeky, and I should have asked you, but currently, you can't see it, but currently the background that we're talking on is your album cover.
I can't see it. That's awesome.
I know, we are stood at the gates, the three figures beneath us, and Dispel like a banner right between us. I just thought, I'll just do it, he'll not be cross.
That's awesome, yeah. Yes, the album was influenced by Dante's Inferno. So we did a song for every circle or layer of hell, and we follow in the footsteps of Dante and Virgil. So it was, quite frankly, a huge undertaking. I literally took a full notebook of notes while I was reading Dante's Inferno, and we tried to put like the coolest, most fantastic imagery we could put together with our music, and it's just been a journey in itself. So we're really happy to invite people to share that journey with us.
It is class because, I mean, okay, another comparison. I mean, the band Iron Maiden classically often dip into literature and poetry to pull songs out there. You guys have dedicated an entire album to this. Now, I'm going to ask I think an honest question. Is there not a danger whenever you take something like Dante's Inferno and base an entire album around it that people are going to say, well, yeah, it's good, but it's a bit samey? How are people going to experience? Will they experience different flavors of Dispel as they go through the different layers of the album, the different rings of hell?
Absolutely, yes. That's a good question. Yes, Dave, we've had some guest musicians chime in, most notably guitars from Maldoran from Germany. We've had some bass from a band called Valkyrie X. So we flavored in some different musicians to give more of a different feel. Ravensea, she's ridiculously talented, so she's used a lot of different vocal approaches. Our first single from the album was Glacia's Heresy, which is about the sixth circle of hell, and we did it as a power ballad. So we just didn't want to hammer people with gothic metal and gothic rock the whole time. We really wanted to tell a story. And yeah, you're right on spot. It was a risk. Music is always a risk when you're creating art. You don't know if people are going to appreciate what you're doing. You don't know if people are going to get it, but if you create, that's a risk that's worth it. Because if you don't create and you're a creative person, you're just going to be miserable.
Yeah.
So it was a no-brainer. We had to do it.
Well, I mean, music. Music probably is the most accessible art form to people because you turn on your radio, you turn on your television, you can go onto the internet, you can get music. Whereas reading takes an investment of energy and time, and obviously, the fortune to have had the education. Art again, very subjective. You have to go and see it. Okay, you can go online to see it, but music is such a readily accessible form of art. I think people do forget that it's still that creative expression. And I mean, it was interesting to watch one of your little sort of, I call them your blog videos, and it was you and Ravensea, and you were having a chat about the lyrics. Now, obviously, this is the fact that I think she was in South Africa at the time, and you were at home, and it was you would read out a piece, she would sort of read it out kind of slightly lyrically, and you go, oh, hang on a minute, you said when he found the sword, I've got where he found the sword, and she was like, well, does it matter? And you were like,
Yeah.
yes, it matters.
Yeah. Yeah, we work together very well. And she's ever since day one, she's really stepped up and offered like her full creative talent into this, because it was really a vision I've had, and the universe basically delivered her to me, and the people that are helping us, like you, the universe is delivering those people to us to help us further this, and I just felt like there's people out there that are going to resonate to music that's inspired by medieval literature and medieval culture, and people that like Gothic cathedrals and chainmail and armor. And what's crazy is the majority of the CDs we sell are to the UK, hands down. Anywhere else in the world. So I don't know if that's a cultural thing,
the home of
but it seems to be
medieval.
resonating.
Yes, it's the home of medieval. We've got rain and castles.
Yes, there you go.
But no, it is
So perfect.
interesting, and I mean, obviously, having listened through some of your back catalogue. Now, yeah, you're gothic metal, and there's no mistaking that there's the metal there. But there are moments in some of the tracks where you do seem to try and echo almost the lost instruments, those medieval tones and kind of riffs that do hark back. You'd almost have to watch like a film to hear that kind of music, but it's under there, and then you've got your modern take painted on top of it. I mean, is that something that Dispel, that yourself tries to be conscious of too, to almost have a lost flavour in the sound that you deliver as well?
Yeah, I think absolutely. Because the imagery and the culture and the artwork behind the music was such a driving force. And it's funny you would mention that, because on the new album, one of the songs we're really approaching, Ravensea's really doing in a minstrel style. And then we've got another song where she really wanted to go Celtic with the vocals. So her creative talents, I just let her run with it, but she understands where we're coming from. She understands, what we're shooting for and the type of vibe we're trying to put out there. And it's just really been a good match.
Fantastic. I mean, I think I said this the last time, and I think I've said it every time we've even chatted in Messenger. She has a voice, and it's something special.
It's getting better. So during COVID, we've all been plowing forward. She's been taking vocal lessons, and she's already got a vocal performance degree, but she's still taking vocal lessons, and she's actually taking it with somebody who's like top in the field. So somebody who's worked with like some big names, she's taking vocal lessons from right now. And it just shows, her drive and her spirit. and it fits perfectly with the band because, the lost virtues of courage and strength and honor and truth. We really believe that. We try and exemplify that in our music, but we also have to exemplify it in the way we live and the way we create our art.
Well, this is it. I mean, the old saying here is every day's a school day, and anyone who sort of sits and thinks, well, I've made it. I've done my thing. I've painted my picture. I've written my book. I've made my album, and doesn't look to push themselves forward is missing out, because everyone can learn something else new, and well, that only bodes well for you guys. But there's the thing. I mean, you've mentioned the guest artists and things. I guess I assume all of this has had to happen remotely, where you've been talking to an artist in Germany, they've laid down their track, they've sent that to you, you then have to engineer it. I mean, as a creator, this must surely be one of the hardest albums you've had to put together, almost like a jigsaw puzzle.
Yeah, inherently, yes. There's two big hurdles when it comes to music, at least modern music, that I've experienced because I've been playing music since I've been 10 years old. But A is the technical hurdle, like you mentioned, getting the tracks from someone else, dumping them into the program, mixing them, master. And when you're writing music, it's called a sequencer. And there's all kinds of different ones out there, but they're all basically the same. But it may take you 45 minutes to find an adjustment you need to make in some menu, and that's just taking time that you could be creating. So there's the technical hurdle, and then the marketing, which is another hurdle. So not only being a musician today, you have to learn how to market your music today. So that's really been the big challenge I've been exploring during this whole COVID thing, is I've been taking music marketing courses, one after the other, and just taking the gold nuggets from each of these courses and kind of putting it together into a cohesive game plan, so we could reach the people that would appreciate what we're doing and would resonate to wanting to wear chainmail.
Well, that's actually a really good point, because I mean, obviously, we gamers, we tend to focus, as we've always said, on games and books and all the rest of it. But the crossover is there with the whole fantasy and the appreciation of literature and stuff like that. But for you guys, I mean, a games company can put up a video, they can show their pieces, they can show their miniatures, and people look at that and go, hey, that's cool, I'm going online and buying it. But music, again, is a thing that has to be experienced. You have to hear it, you have to see it. And I mean, live performances, I presume, are still out of the door for you guys. You just can't do live gigs. So how now, in what seems to be a yet ongoing situation, is Dispel going to... You could share your music, but that doesn't pay you. How do you sell your music in this climate?
So, what we're exploring is we're looking forward to doing a great Kickstarter so we can get the music to our people. There's like you mentioned, there's Spotify. We could throw it on YouTube. YouTube's been pretty successful for us, and typically we get a fan a day. It's one step at a time.
Yeah.
And I'm fine with that. I think there's a misnomer about Spotify that artists are getting paid, and it's like, if you have hundreds of thousands of streams of your video, you might get $30. It's not a platform that supports bands, in all honesty. So the crowdfunding, the self-funding, being self-sustainable, and offering the most we can to our fans is the road we're going to go down. So we're going to do the Kickstarter and offer the colored vinyl, that's limited edition, first press, the guitar picks, the patches. I got gaming dice that are custom, Dispel dice from Chessex. So just cool things like, when I'm a fan of music, the stuff that I like, the little extras that are rare and that help support the music I like. So that's the next avenue to go down. Because, like you said, not having a merch table at a live concert is a big deal.
Yeah, but I've got to say, as soon as you said it, my brain went Kickstarter. Well, yeah, that now makes complete sense because it kind of gives you the platform to have the merchandise table at the gig, and instead of paying your ticket money and instead of buying a few pints, you can still get your t-shirt, you can still get your pins, you still get your album. But of course, with the fact that you guys and girls are this sort of crossover with gothic rock and with fantasy literature and the game and the role playing and stuff, Kickstarter does suddenly become an interesting place for Dispel. And you've mentioned there's the Chessex dice and that, so that's yeah. I've got visions of my GM bag with Dispel on it and stuff like this here. No,
Right on.
that's a
Yeah,
class idea. Well, the
yeah,
other
we're
good thing, from your point of view is you're used to late nights and not sleeping, and managing a Kickstarter, from everything I'm aware of, is several nights of not getting a lot of sleep, answering questions, and really engaging, which is one of the things you guys are good at. You're fantastic at engaging with your audience. So Kickstarter is going to be like water off a duck's back to you. It's going to be, oh yeah, I'm just doing what I do every day, just doing more of it.
right. Yeah. And right. It's the sign of the times, it's become a necessity now. And because, like, all these places around the world, the restrictions are different, so it's like you really can't plan to tour Germany or, tour the UK if you can't even get a passport,
Yeah.
or a work visa or something like that. So, I'm not going to wait on the bureaucrats to figure out what they're doing. Artists never waited on bureaucrats for anything. So, we're going to do it ourselves. We've been self-sustaining from day one, and we're gonna plow forward.
Well, I mean, I think that's evident. The positivity that comes out of yous, and I mean the message of positivity from Dispel in general. And it seems kind of weird, a rock band full of positivity, but that's the weird thing. Rock is a positive influence. Everyone's got this idea, you stick on the leather jacket and everyone's cross and negative, but really, it tends to be a force for good. Even, well, okay, not all of them, but most of them do tend to be decent, hardworking people who just want to make everybody's lives a little better. So I've no doubt that Dispel, when you set your mind to doing a thing, it'll be done. It'll be done very well with a lot of passion. So it'll be quite interesting. When are you thinking of launching a Kickstarter? Then what's sort of loosely in your head time wise?
So we're looking at some point in May with a tentative album release in July. So we wanted to give it about 2 months for pre-orders. We wanted to reveal that to our email subscribers first, and then our Facebook fans first. So the people that have been supporting us should have the first chance at getting that first press of the vinyl.
Yeah.
That's very important to us. The people who support us, we want to reward them in some way. So yeah, that's the way we're going to do it, and we're just really excited to share it with people. I mean, we've been working on this album for over a year and a half, and it wasn't something I took lightly. And like you said, doing a concept album is a risky endeavor, but medieval
Oh, we've cut it.
literature love. And so I was like, let's do it. I haven't heard anybody do a proper rendition for Dante's Inferno.
We just seem to have glitched out a little bit there, Scott. The image kind of glitched out. We got most of your audio, but just for the folks at home's benefit, we apologise for the loss of signal. We are crossing timelines and the Atlantic here, so you'll have to forgive the odd little glitch that's outside technical control here at the bunker.
So
One of the things I've seen happen in COVID, and I don't know if it's probably something you've seen as well. We have a show here. It wouldn't be your cup of tea. It's Ant and Dec Saturday Night Takeaway. They're sort of two English sort of comedians. They've done a little bit in America, but I say comedians. They're more sort of like entertainers, really. But they have had bands come on during lockdown. Now, sometimes it's worked where they've been able to have social distancing, but on a couple of occasions, the bands have actually not all been in the UK. So they've had like the video wall with a couple of members and maybe the singer in the studio. If this situation carries on, is something like that a potential for Dispel fans where you guys might be able to engineer, I'm not going to call it a live gig, but a virtual experience, maybe even as part of the Kickstarter, where a track or two is kind of done in that manner?
Funny you would mention, we are actually going to do our first live stream concert on May 22nd, which is World Goth Day.
Yo!
So it was a perfect fit for me.
It's people are going to think, because that's a couple of times now I've said something to you like, hey, hang on, they're going to think, oh yeah, these two talked before this and planned it all. Andy's got notes. No, the only thing I've got in front of me is my phone. I don't even have a pen because it's like 2 o'clock in the morning for me. The concept of me planning notes is just not going to happen. No, that would be fantastic. So really where you're at now is you've done a day's work in the studio. You've now got a night's work ahead of you sitting at the engineering desk. I presume it's called an engineering desk, sound desk, to try and start knitting that together, get a lesson through. What's the very next thing that happens then on this journey with the album? It goes to England, gets engineered there. Then, that's what I mean. What's next from that? Sorry.
So yeah, basically on the technical side, I would produce it. We're going to self-produce this one, and then we're going to send it to Martin to be mastered. Now, once it's mastered, that means the levels are loud enough where it could be played on the radio and it would fit right in.
Right.
It wouldn't sound like a demo level mix. And then we're going to get the colored vinyl pressed. I've already been in touch with them, and we're talking the numbers. And so that's as far as getting the music out. And like I said, we're going to let our email fans know first. And if you would like to be an email fan, you can just go to dispelmusic.com. There's a big red arrow, and we want to give you our EP for free, but we just need to know where to send it. So if you enter your email, we will send you our free EP called The Goddess. It's 3 songs for free, and then you get in our email list, and then you find out about all the Dispel band news before anybody else. And I share my blog posts and music videos and bloopers and specials and album sales and all kinds of stuff like that. So you're part of the official Dispel family. But tomorrow, while Ravensea's in town, we're going to do a photo shoot. We're going to shoot 2 low-key videos. We're going to record a live set. So we got a full schedule these next couple days while she's in town.
Brilliant, brilliant. There will be, for everyone watching, it will probably already have raced its way across the screen. There will be the link for the Dispel website. I can heartily recommend getting that download for the EP as well. And in the notes, somewhere down there on your screen, where it says comments and things, there will also be links to, as I've now become aware of things like Instagram and such, there will also be the links to these places as well, but you'll find all those on the Dispel website too, but that'll all be down there. Make sure you go and give them some support, give them some love. And this is the thing, and I sort of find myself saying this more and more often. You might find, dear watcher, that Dispel is not your cup of tea. You know what? No harm, no foul. Not everyone can like everything. That doesn't mean that you can't reach down and hit share. Because unbeknownst to you, some of your chums might go, oh, what's that Jimmy has shared today? Hits play and goes, wow, I've just found something that I love. And that could be the thing that brightens their day and gives them a whole new sense of happiness. So don't be the stumbling block by just going, I don't like it, I don't care. Go, I don't like it. It's almost no effort to share. There we go, I've shared it now anyway. I don't like this, but some of you might. That's all you have to post. Gives you another thing to post on social media. You can look clever and cultured.
Nice. It's funny how like people are discovering us, and it's like I said, we're growing like day by day, one fan at a time. And now it's not uncommon for me to get 3 to 5 messages per day of just people, hey, how you doing? Conversation. What about this? What about that? Just interacting, which last time we talked was not the case.
Yeah.
So there's growth. Growth is happening. So
it's nice too at that stage where, I mean, people think I joke about this. With our Facebook page, it's doing quite well. Our YouTube channel's modest enough, and that's why I appreciate even the likes of yourself coming along and being prepared to spend time with us. But we notice each person who comes along. We also notice each person who leaves. But we notice every person that comes along, and it does make a difference. And I know as a creator in my own way, that is the thing that if you're looking at the screen today and that number's gone up by 1, there's a wee smile just inside there that just says, yes, today was worthwhile. And if it jumps up 2 tomorrow, there's another wee smile. And you go and look and you see who they are. And yeah, if they drop you a message, you have a wee chat with them. And it's nice. It might be the only time in the cycle of their fandom where they actually reach out and engage with you. But it's a beautiful thing for you guys at the minute that use... I don't mean you're small enough to be able to do that. That sounds like a derogatory statement. But there will, in all likelihood, come a time for Dispel when you'll have a girl called Susan. And Susan's job will be pretend to be you on Instagram and Twitter. And she'll answer, well, thanks very much. Yes, I've had a great day. I had an egg and cress sandwich for my breakfast and now I'm going jogging. I hope you have a great day too. And I hope that day comes for you sooner rather than later.
Yeah, usually we're just talking about castles and dragons and adventures, and because I like to post a lot of fantasy art on our Facebook, and I'll invite people like, who wants to go to this castle with us? And people just love it. So that's how we know they resonate to what we're doing, because, our music and imagery are one and the same. So, yeah, it's been a really fun adventure. And, like, I remember doing the interview with you, and I posted it, and it's getting views. Like, I can remember when it had 30 views, and now it's, it's in the 100 range. So I think that's just amazing.
Yeah, that's the thing about YouTube videos as well. I mean, you and I have a sense of urgency about what we do. You've got your album, I've got my video, we've got our channels, and we want things to connect today or tomorrow. I still remember the absolute shock of going down through our YouTube videos one day and discovering that we had one that was over 3,000 views. And I was like, what? And it was a wee 10-minute video. It wasn't trivial, but it wasn't like, and it was funny because it was like, we took literally no time over that, and over 3,000 people have watched it. We craft this one, and we're watching it crawl up one view at a time, going, why did you like it? Do you know what? People are people. You just can't predict what they're going to love.
That's funny. Well, yeah, you throw a cat on there, and you're going to do really well. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I love cats, so I can agree, but...
You're not wrong. Exploding Kittens, one of the most successful card games in recent times. You're right. Throw a cat on there, and in this case a cat and a bomb, and you're a winner. Maybe Dispel's next album should be about cats.
We'll see. Actually, we have been talking about doing the next album being Viking themed.
Nice one. Ooh, lots of Nordic mythology to play with.
Yeah, probably go Norse.
Well, if you decide to go down that route, we have a couple of people that we can point you in the direction of. Would be quite well educated and knowledgeable in such things, and
Cool.
kind of deeper and broader than the Hollywood interpretation of Vikings. Certainly when it comes to the mythology and all the different sort of the 9 different realms and stuff. Oh, I could see that. No, yeah. I'll come on as executive producer and be like an advisor to you.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I mean, obviously, if you play Dungeons and Dragons, you can, flip through deities and demigods and see Norse mythology, and that's going to leave an impression on any kid who looks at that. So, yeah, that'll be cool stuff.
Yeah.
Actually, Ravensea recommended it, so
Nice one.
yeah, we're exploring stuff. I'm selfish, the reason I did this is because I want those elements in my life, and I just wasn't getting enough of it to satisfy myself. So I'm like, well, I'm just going to create a band that just is immersed in that imagery, and then I'll be around it all the time. So that's what I'm doing.
And now you're giving a little bit of that magic back to all your fans as well.
Yeah, it seems people are resonating to it, and that's a very satisfying feeling to me. And it's also a way for me to connect with my lost tribe, so that's great.
Beautiful. Beautiful. As always, it's a remarkably positive experience talking to you. I always come away, even when it's a text exchange between us, always come away feeling slightly brighter, slightly happier. I don't suddenly feel as though it's like nearly 2:30 in the morning and that I should be unconscious ready for work tomorrow. This has been a nice, refreshing break from it all. I'm going to let you go because I know you've got a full night's work ahead of you. Do let us know when the Kickstarter's happening. Get the word out. Give us a shout. We'll make sure to share that as well. Folks, I'm not going to repeat myself. All the details are there. Go and check these lovely people out. And a little bit of support takes a little bit of effort. And there you go. You will make, as you've seen, even one more follower will make this guy's day. And that's what it's all about. If we all do one little thing for somebody else, the world will have another smile. Scott, it has been an absolute pleasure, and I look forward to hearing more. I look forward to keeping an eye on you and seeing what you're doing. Don't have to say behaving yourself because you're a pinnacle of behaving yourself. It's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Nightly virtues, sir.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay,
well, hey, I really appreciate you getting up so late. That's a solid commitment to what you're doing, and it's a solid move to help support us and share our music. So we really appreciate it, Andrew.
Can't stop the rock. Okay, folks. Right. Well, on that note, it's going to be a goodbye from me. It's going to be a goodbye from him, and sleep well, be safe, have a lovely day. Depends what time you're watching this, weeks from now. Rock on!